Welcome back, FoodFAQers, to day 3 of 12 days of CookieMas. Wow.
This is day number 3. On the third day of CookieMas, what are you giving me, Mariela?
Chocolate molasses cookie.
Hey, that kind of goes.
Right?
That's pretty awesome. That kind of goes. Do you know what I noticed about us with cookies, Marty? Is there's like a lot of food things that you and I will spar over.
Right.
But cookies, have you noticed how passionate we are about cookies?
It's taking us weeks.
But not just that. Like, you and I, like, I was thinking back to yesterday's episode, the Rumble episode, which is a really good episode. And there was like one of those moments where I'm just like, fuck you, you're wrong. Like,
well, I mean, you're like that a lot.
You're wrong. There's no balance in this. You're wrong. You're like that with me with cookies too.
Yeah, I am too.
Like, good idea, and you'll be like, yeah, you're wrong.
No, yeah, I have very strong opinions on cookies. I really love baking cookies. It's my favorite thing to bake. And
me too.
I need to test these things. I need to make sure they're good. Like, I don't take just anybody's word on a cookie, not even yours. I will have to make it myself.
I mean, everybody can be wrong a couple times, so I understand, Maddie.
Yeah, especially you.
Whoa.
Well, listen, since we were trying to formulate this cookie list it's been honestly like 3 weeks, we've been battling over which 12 are going to get on this list. And we talked a lot about molasses. And, you know, I have learned to love molasses in our journey here in this podcast. And I bought a bottle of grandma's molasses, or a jar, I guess is what it's called. And I made brown sugar and I put it into our short ribs, which, by the way, I very highly recommend.
Really, yes.
And then I wanted to use them in a cookie because obviously, right? That's where they go in my head. Molasses goes in a cookie. But I wanted to give you guys something that wasn't just like a ginger snap with molasses in it, because we're going to talk about ginger snaps too, right? That's a whole different ball game. So I wanted to give molasses kind of center stage. So I found this really fantastic recipe, which I'm going to link in the show notes. And it's called Buttermilk by Sam. That's her .com. That's her website. And what I really like about this recipe, Eric, is that you put these things in a bowl, right? You start out with just the butter, the molasses, the brown sugar, and the eggs and the salt, and you mix it together in a bowl with your hand mixer, which is what I did. I didn't even break out my big old mixer because I was just making half a batch and I didn't want to go on a mission. So I just used my hand mixer, so you can do the same thing. And I know that it'll be easy for you. And you just beat it for 5 minutes. And then you add your dry ingredients. Easy. It's so easy. And then you roll it up into little balls. It's a little bit sticky, so I would recommend. This recipe doesn't tell you to put it in the fridge. I would put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before you start rolling it. Cause you go ahead and you make a little ball and then you roll it in sugar and then you bake it at 350 for like, I think it's 8 minutes. But I would give it a little bit of, and it's, everybody likes it. The kids liked it. My husband liked it. I liked it, which doesn't always happen when it's not like a regular cookie that maybe you've had a million times, you know?
Because you and I have a love for chocolate chip cookies.
Right.
And nothing else.
And it's true.
Like we love everything else, but you and I have like a diehard passion where my belief is every cookie should be a chocolate chip cookie.
I know. It's true. It's true. And only a good one. Like if I go to like a place and I won't eat a cookie like at Fuddruckers, for example, because they're trash.
No, I won't either.
Like they need to be really good chocolate chip cookies. Like I won't have them from just anywhere. Yes, that's like my first love. That's the queen of cookies. And that's true. Any cookie I have, I really compare to that.
Yep.
This has kind of that attribute, like, the sugar, not the sugar, like the doughy part of the cookie is similar to it's
probably chewy because the molasses probably keeps it really chewy.
Exactly. And I tried it with adding chocolate to it, like little bits of chocolate on top and without. And everybody agreed that it doesn't even need the chocolate chunks because even though, I don't know, sometimes when you use Dutch cocoa in a recipe, do you find that the chocolate's always a little bit weird?
Well, I think the thing about with the Dutch cocoa, we talk about using ingredients that, of course, are affordable and that are at reach for everybody. And I still stand by that. But I think when it comes to using cocoa in particular, and you're at your grocery store, spend a couple bucks on the better brand because you're going to have a little bit higher quality, a little bit better consistency. especially when it is the key ingredient
Right.
in this.
Agreed.
So, and I think the thing too with cocoa mati, it's if you use just even a little bit too much, it can get bitter pretty quick.
Right. It's almost like Oreo. You like that Oreo type of chocolate, right?
Yep, exactly.
A little bit bitter. This cookie is so balanced because of the molasses. The molasses is magic. It is center stage and it is delicious. If you need to buy molasses and keep it in your kitchen counter like you would like a fancy salt.
Right.
Because it adds so much flavor. And I promise you that when people bite into this cookie, they won't know what the fuck it is because it's like a flavor they don't have all the time, but they will be pleased. Hands down.
Do you know about the molasses disaster in Boston back in 1919?
I did not. Tell me everything.
Where I think it was a distillery. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the Great Molasses Flood. Where
oh my God.
It was like 2.3 million gallons of molasses. So there was,
oh my God.
I think it was an explosion in the building and it was 2.3 million gallons of molasses that spread all over the streets of Boston.
What?
And it was a literal flood. Yeah. It killed 21 people and it injured like 150 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was like a massive flood of molasses and it covered the streets.
What an American way to go.
Right. Like in the gates of heaven, like St. Peter's like, how did you die? You're like, well, the molasses flood down there got me.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? So it's funny every time so much is molasses. And I lived in Boston for a period of time for work, like 10 years ago. I was there for a year and they actually like can show you the streets of where it happened and stuff like that. So it's
not funny, but it's funny.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like, you know, what an embarrassing kind of way to die though. Be like, you know, how'd you die? How did Aunt Myrtle die? Well, the molasses wave came and just took her over. But then you think about it, what a horrible way to die. Like, did you suffocate in molasses? Like,
most likely, yeah.
2.3 million gallons of molasses in 1919.
Wow.
So anyway.
All right, rip molasses.
But you know, nowadays we found out it makes a delicious cookie and
you should try it.
You should try it. I'm excited for this because I'm excited for the texture. I feel the texture is going to be kind of nice and chewy.
So freaking good. All right, you guys, this is day 3 of 12 Days of CookieMas. There's one more installment this week. So tune in tomorrow because we got so much good stuff for you.